Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Before we get into today's video, if you could just hit that big red button down below, that would massively help me out because we're trying to get to 8,000 subscribers. But today's video is going to be another transfer roundup in the week of Leeds United. And of course, things have been mainly dominated by the Euros and the fact that last night England, at the time of recording this, England got through on penalties against the Swiss and are in the semi-final against the Netherlands on Wednesday night. But back to the world of Leeds United, and there have been some developments, nearly all outgoings. So we're going to have a little bit of a roundup through that, and of course, let me know what you think of the moves that Leeds are making down in the comments below. But the first one is going to be that Christopher Klaesson. Now, Christopher Klaesson is rumoured to be getting a move to Polish side Rocco. He has played, I think, 4 games for Leeds, or at least started 4 games, and Leeds have won every single one. So shout out Johnny Cooper for putting that one on Twitter. Go and follow him. He's got some great statistics about Leeds United. Christopher Klaesson, well, I thought promising young goalkeeper, probably somebody good to take with you into this season. I mean, honestly, it's not really Darlow's fault that he didn't contribute anything, but if you're going to have a backup goalkeeper, why not keep Christopher Klaesson? You're not going to get that much money for him. Even if it was a loan out to the Polish league, that would be a good move for him. I think he's a good goalkeeper with a good potential in the future, but Leeds obviously don't agree on that one, and they're going to let him go. It looks like not been completely confirmed yet, but it does seem like it's going that way. Next one is Charlie Cresswell. Now, at one point, it did look like that deal to Toulouse in the French league was going to fall through, but apparently that one's back on, and they are negotiating personal terms with the young Leeds player. Now, again, I've said this last time, we'll just briefly cover it. I think it's a shame to lose him. I think another player who's come through the academy, you don't really want to lose. He's obviously played for England under 21s. Winning it was the under-21 World Cup or the Euros. Certainly they won some competitions, that age group, and there's some fantastic players going through, and Charlie Cresswell was a part of that, so it does seem a shame to let him go for so little money, but perhaps that is where we are in the Championship, but financially that is. But I'm not 100% sure I get this one, because you've got to think about the fact that Archie Gray's just gone for 40 million, whatever, and balancing the books is something we're obviously trying to do, but I mean, surely you sell one more player for a good couple of million and you're pretty much covered. So it's disappointing to see him potentially on his way out. One that has been confirmed is Sam Greenwood has made a temporary transfer, a loan move to Preston North End, and he's going to spend a season there. Obviously spent a season on loan at Middlesbrough last season. Played some good football there, scored a couple of goals, got that free kick, didn't he, against Leicester, which obviously at the time we thought was going to help Leeds to promotion, but didn't end up that way. But yeah, Greenwood going out on loan to Preston, bit more experience for him, but I would have liked to see him maybe get some minutes off the bench for us this season, given the fact that we are sort of hamstrung by these profit and sustainability rules. He's a free kick specialist and a corner specialist, and you'd expect we might need somebody like that in the season coming up. But yeah, good luck to Sam Greenwood, and hope he has a good season there on loan. Next one is Jamie Shackleton. Now, Jamie Shackleton has made a permanent transfer. This is confirmed to Sheffield United, who, of course, have just got relegated from the Premier League. Now, Jamie Shackleton is one of those players where he was kind of like your poor man's James Milner. He come through the academy at Leeds. He's able to play in a variety of different positions. He was always there to help out when he needed. He would always give 100%, and he'd always give a lot of energy to whatever team he came into. So it is a little bit of a shame to see Jamie Shackleton go. To be honest, I think he's a good option to keep in the Championship for one more year until potentially we get promoted, because he's always that option to come on and play left back, right back, central midfield. Do you get what I mean? He's one of those players where you go, okay, you're in a bit of a sticky situation. Who can you bring on? You bring on Jamie Shackleton, and he gives you that extra bit of energy to try and put some impetus back into the game. So Jamie Shackleton, though, good luck to him in his future career at Sheffield United. They seem to think they've got some sort of massive coup. I like Jamie Shackleton. I think he's been a good servant to Leeds United, but I wouldn't say he's exactly a groundbreaking transfer for a side that have just been relegated from the Premier League. But good luck to Jamie, and hopefully he does well in the future. Stade Rennais want Glen Kamara. Now, this was talked about last week as well. And at the time, I think Leeds were saying that don't really want to let him go, but if Stade Rennais come in with a transfer fee that is high enough to help us balance the PSR books, because of course we only bought him for, was it 5 million or 3.5 million? I can't remember. It might have been Glen Kamara. I can't remember which way around was which. But if we can sell him for more than we bought him for, then it does help our profit and sustainability. But I think he's a good player. I think he's a player who realistically you'd want to keep for a championship season, a good solid championship number 8. I'd be keeping Glen Kamara if I was Leeds, but that rumour is still there, so keep an eye out on that one for Glen Kamara going to France. Leeds have rejected a €4.5 million bid for Diego Llorente from Real Betis. Now, Real Betis believed that their bid of in the region of I think it's £2 to £3 million would be enough to get Diego Llorente over the line, but because Leeds bought him for 10 million from I think it was Sociedad, wasn't it, a couple of years ago, Leeds might not have fully paid that off yet. So to be able to make a profit, just to go back to that point actually, to explain that, if a team like Leeds is buying Diego Llorente for 10 million and he's got a 4-year contract, let's say a 5-year contract, and they would then pay 2 million off a year, just in this example. The examples may vary, but say Leeds were paying 2 million off every year, because they do that, don't they? They pay in installments. If he was in the final year of his contract, Leeds would only have 2 million left to pay on him. So if they were to sell him for 3 million, that's actually £1 million profit that can get booked against PSR, if you get what I mean. So Leeds would only, if that was the way it worked, but I don't think he's only been signed in January 2022, was he? Or at least 2022, I think. So it's only been 2 and a bit years. So I think we wouldn't have paid him off. So you'd be looking for Leeds to get at least £5 or £6 million for Diego Llorente before they can book that as a profit. So they wouldn't be willing to let him go for anything less than that. But keep an eye on that one as well, because Real Betis do seem interested in that one. I think it's is it Pellegrini, the ex-West Ham manager, that's at Real Betis now. I think it's him, and I think he was talking about wanting to get him in before their pre-season tour to Austria. So keep an eye on that one, because that might progress quickly if they want to get that one done. Another loan deal. Darko Gyabi has gone out to Plymouth on loan for the season. Now, I had high hopes of Darko Gyabi, but maybe that just came with the £5 million price tag, and I do also think that there's a potential that price tag had something to do with Manchester City trying to balance their profit and sustainability as well, or their financial fair play, as it's called in the Premier League. There's a chance that they said, right, we're going to buy Phillips off you, but we'll pay, if you pay 5 million for this youth prospect. We don't know. This is all just rumour and alleged. But Darko Gyabi hasn't had the impact that we would have thought he might have had. He's still young. Of course, he's still young, but hopefully another season on loan at Plymouth in the Championship will give him a chance to get a lot of more first-team game time, and at least he'll know somebody there in Adam Forshaw. Maybe I probably only met briefly, even if they met at all. I would imagine they only met briefly. I can't remember. The timelines get so confusing when everyone came in and when everyone left, but at least he'll have Forshaw there. But yeah, JB going to go into that midfield hopefully and get a lot more games than he would have done at Leeds. So good luck to Darko Gyabi. Brighton, this was earlier in the week, so this is not freshest news, but Brighton apparently offered £30 million for Jorginho Rutter. Now, Jorginho was bought for £35 million, and of course that was only last January, not last January, the January before, so Leeds won't have paid hardly anything off that. Going back to what I was talking about before about paying certain amounts of money over certain amounts of time. But Jorginho Rutter is someone who, if they were going to sell him, it'd have to be a big profit, because he's only 22. You can help Leeds get promoted again. You could try and help Leeds get promoted this time, and when we get back to the Premier League, he's still only 22, and we could make a lot more money off him if that's the way that Leeds want to go with it in terms of making profit. So good on Leeds for rejecting that one. Should play a bit more hardball with these type of offers. Borussia Mönchengladbach do want Werber but they are not willing to pay the sort of 10 to 12 million euros that Leeds were asking for. Sorry, 10 to 12 million pounds that Leeds were asking for, and they'd be more interested in having a loan deal. Of course, Maximilian Wöber is only 26, so it's a deal that Gladbach kind of want to get across the line, but they're not willing to pay for him. So Leeds, I think at this point, will be happy to say you either pay for him or we sell him elsewhere, but it does look like he will be trying to leave Leeds this summer on a permanent deal. His contract is up in 2027, so that does give him 2.5 years left on his deal, so his value is still retained at this point, and it's not in a position where he can run down his contract too much until a couple of years' time. So I'd imagine that he'll be out the door this summer, and hopefully Leeds could recoup some of that money for him. So yeah, it has been a little bit of a weird week. It's mainly outgoings. There has been a few links to players as well. There's been a link to Ben Sheaf from Coventry. I'm not sure how much there is in that one. He's a number 8 midfielder, central midfielder who Leeds apparently have been looking at, but I couldn't see too many stories corroborating the information on that one. So just look out for that one. And then there's, of course, Callum O'Hare, who is a bit more of a number 10 attacking midfielder for Coventry, and I think his contract just run out, so he is a free agent at the moment, and Leeds would look to get him on probably decent wages, considering that he's a free agent. That's usually what happens, because they don't have to pay any money for him, so their agent will say, well, okay, give him higher wages then. So that's another one to look out for, and I think he'd be a good addition to this team if you could play in that number 10 role like we've talked about before. So that is your news roundup. Let me know what you thought of any of those deals, and potentially who maybe you'd like to see us sign in the future as well. But as for now, that is the transfer news. Thanks for watching Leeds Lately, and I'll see you in the next one.